Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup Podcast. I'm Tommy, joined by John.
How's it going?
Good. Episode 82. What is going on with Sorcery, John?
It's gone bonkers. Everyone has gone insane and they love the beautiful art. And I imagine the play as well, but this is a collector's time as far as I can tell. That's what's going on.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's out of control. Kind of freaky. It's a little, I did not expect this. I fully believed in this product. I bought a ton of it for the Kickstarter. I love the art, the style, etc. And this is insane. I never expected this. I just did not. Yeah. Have we seen anything like this before?
Grand Archive is getting there, but this is very quick, very fast.
Yeah, this was like as soon as people got it, this thing spiked.
Well, I think everyone also was expecting it to go a different way, and that everyone would, because boxes were starting to hit like 500 when people were first starting to get them, and now they're 800-900 a box.
Yeah, usually it goes down.
It usually goes down.
People get it, right. Not up,
right?
So my take or understanding is that the people that want the collection are adamantly collecting singles, and so the singles are getting bid up. And as the singles get bid up, of course, what does that do?
The boxes follow.
Yeah, it gets an EV, disproportionate EV, so then it's better to just go buy a box, crack it, and hope you get the thing. And that seems to be happening in a pretty quick cycle. And then, of course, that generates hype. And now the hype is taken over. I think it's pretty cool, honestly.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen anything quite like this before. There's also some really weird additions to it. I guess lottery tickets, if you will.
Sure.
The curios, unique art, special things. There's one that's like you choose whatever the random result is for anything that happens in the game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just like one of those like quirky cards. Like if you manage to pull it and you play it, anytime there's something random, you get to decide. You're the master of destiny when it comes to random stuff. Yeah, which is just a goofy card, but fun. So that's going for a lot. And apparently there's a few of them because I've seen several of them sell. So it's not like super, super rare. Then there's ones with the I forget his name. The Frank. What's his name? That old school art that everyone's losing their mind about. Anyways, that very special, famous artist from back in the day, kind of D&D age and all that stuff. That's it. Yeah. His art is on some special, I think, one-ofs, and I believe one of them sold for like 20,000 or something like that.
Holy crap.
Yeah, but it's like one of, and it's hard to pull because there's 400 different cards in the set plus the number of boxes, and there's only one of them. So people are saying it's more rare than a Black Lotus. Like it is actually that unique, which I think is probably valid. Because
just because it's more unique doesn't make it that much more valuable. Because the Black Lotus has been around for a very long time.
And yes, I think so. Just because of the art and everything else, like I think there's a lot of pieces to it that add to it. Now, Black Lotus does have like winning championships and stuff like that, which you will never see with this. I don't think this game will ever be a tournament, professional, crazy, where people are like, oh, you remember that one deck tech that just crushed everyone? Like I just don't see that game being this. So I don't think it will have that same sort of feel to it, but I think it has a whole different thing that draws people in. It seems like it, at least. Yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. I got mine. I couldn't justify keeping it, so I have it on auction on eBay. I'll probably pick up some beta and play that. I mean, we have played it. Like, we've hopped on and played on TTS. I understand the game. I just don't see myself having time to really get into it in the next couple months. So I was just like, well, if I want to get into it, I can get beta for way less than what Alpha's going for right now.
That's exactly what happened with me. I saw the prices go wild, and I was like, essentially what I did is I put a box up and said, hey, let me just put this up as a a way to defer some of my costs, because I had a weird number of boxes, and I knew I wasn't going to get a full set with the number I had, because I didn't realize there's 400 cards in the set. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to reach my goal with my boxes, so let me just sell, and I'll buy singles, right? That's how you do. And then as they sold really fast, I was like, oh, I can't justify opening this. Like, one of them's going on the shelf until it's a $10,000 box. Then I'll sell it. And the rest are just going to be sold. So that's where I'm at. I will buy beta. I have, I think, tripled my money at this point or something on my original purchase. So I'll just buy enough beta to have a full play set and be happy with that. I will say, I did go and buy a couple lots of just regular cards so that I have some alpha cards. Nice. And I'll throw them in a folder as I have some alpha cards. Nothing special, the commons or whatever, but I'll have a few at least.
That's cool. Yeah, it's been interesting.
And then we'll play when beta comes out in a few months.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm fine with that. I'm 100% fine with that.
Yeah, I can wait.
Yeah, me too. There's definitely some cool new tech in here from what we played with the elemental decks. Like there's new cards for sure. So we'll get to play with. Yeah, we'll get to play with some interesting new stuff. We'll have to look up deck lists or make our own or whatever. Sit down, maybe do a draft type game.
That'd be fun
one day. Yeah.
Is it possible to draft or no?
I don't think there's a supported rule system. It's just this is a kitchen table game.
Right.
It's like hang out with a friend, make up your own damn rules.
Yeah, exactly.
And see what happens. Who cares?
Well, that's kind of what is confusing me, I guess, is if it's a kitchen table game, why is it getting so crazy?
Because not everything is driven by the players, Tommy.
Yeah, but
this is like Pokemon. It's driven by the collectors because they love the art. That's what I'm seeing. I don't think it's being driven by players at all. I think it is literally driven by the collectors who want these pieces of art, and because they're gorgeous, they're full art. All the cards, the fancy ones, are double-sided, and it's just the art on the other side, so it displays even better than just with a card. So that is my best guess, is that this is a collector-driven thing. Everyone that's going crazy for these, they're trying to get the full set.
Yeah,
maybe the full set in foil, and I think the foils are like one a box or something.
Thing.
Yeah, it's real rare. So the whole thing is just
Yeah, you were gonna have a whole binder of.
Yeah, nope. I gave up on that very quickly. I gave up on it before I got my boxes. When I heard there's 400 cards in the set, I was like, oh, I should have bought like 10 times as much.
Yeah.
And apparently, I was listening to Louis over at Kitchen Table TCG. He's opened 49 boxes, and he doesn't even have a full set.
That's a lot of boxes.
I never would have. I had no idea. I had no chance. Yeah. Zero possibility of getting a full set that way. So it is what it is. It's fine. I like it. It's interesting. It will also make the game amusing and weird because of the disconnect between people's availability of cards. I imagine beta will fix most of that.
Yeah.
But I guess the question is how much gets bought in beta? Because I didn't sign up for beta thinking I would just have enough cards. So maybe I'll do the Rudy kit. Yeah, because then I get a special card, which sounds pretty cool too.
That's true.
I'm not sure, but I assume it will be available, so I will buy it then.
Yeah, I foresee beta being pretty available.
So yeah, fun stuff. I like crazy freaking markets on TCGs, new TCGs.
Yeah. Certainly caught me by surprise.
Yeah, me too. I had no idea this was going to happen. And I believed in this one. I still had no idea this was going to happen.
Well, I was not like... Yeah, when you don't have that competitive circuit, when you don't have like that kind of attention, I just didn't think that collectors would get attached to a kitchen table kind of game.
I think it's just all the art. It does kick a nostalgia feel to it for the older ones of us that have been doing TCG type games and D&D and that sort of stuff for decades, Yeah,
and that age range is the one that would have the money to be putting.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, people spending $25,000. Apparently, some people are like, these are people that have multiple Black Lotuses. That's the word. Is that like big Magic collectors are shifting into this?
Interesting.
I don't get it. like I don't fully understand that, but maybe they're just sick of Magic and they have money to burn and want to. I don't know.
I mean, could be. I mean, the big discussion in Magic right now is the whole cost of reprint equity.
Yep.
And how even no cards can retain value, really. Besides, like, the super rare.
Yeah, I mean, they will reprint everything.
Exactly.
I think that's been clear for a few years at this point.
Yeah. Even with, like, different names. Like, in Lord of the Rings, there's a bunch of stuff that got reprinted, but was just given a second name.
Yeah, it's just the Lord of the Rings name. Yeah. Same card, though. Yeah, it's a thing. But is Magic dead?
As a game, no. As a game, absolutely not.
I was about to say, we were just talking about this the other day. Like, we were looking at our local calendar. They have 6 Magic events on the calendar for our one Flesh and Blood event.
Yeah,
6, and they go off every time. It's like, what in the hell?
Yeah, I saw pictures from a Lord of the Rings only Pauper event that they had.
Oh my god,
sounded pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, Magic's not dead, guys. I know those of you who listen to podcasts and table talk or TCG talk or whatever, you hear a lot of bad stuff about Magic, but it is not dead. It is thriving and huge. I would not be surprised if Wizards posts a record profit this quarter again. Sure. I would not. So, well, do you want to shift over and talk about some Flesh and Blood stuff?
Sure.
What did you play this week?
I had my first CC armory in a while. Went well. Went 2-2 on Dorinthia. Beat a Briar and a Bravo. And then lost to a Dromai and a Azuri.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Dromai's like top tier right now.
Azuri's up there too.
Yeah, Azuri's. She's in the top, like, I don't know. Is she in the top, like, 8 heroes, I think?
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, I guess it depends on who you ask, right? Because people have different opinions who's the strongest. But she's a player in the meta, put it that way.
Correct.
Yeah.
I thought Dorinthia might be. She's not. It's fine. It's fine.
She's not. It's okay. You still have a good time and you beat people. So it's not like you're just sitting around and losing all day every day.
No, it's fun.
Yeah, I got to get that mindset where it's like, I'm just going to lose a bunch of games, but I'll win here and there, and that's fine.
And it's fine. It's just fine. It's fun.
I'm not sure who I do that with, though. I have literally gone.
Yeah, you went the whole gambit. We were playing
all
the other night.
All over the place.
Where is it now?
I don't know.
Is it Levia? Is it Icelander? Is it Bolton? Is it
Vincent?
Is it Azuri?
Levia was the most fun. I did enjoy that game because I did get some fun little combos to work. Yeah. It was like way late in the game by the time I figured out how that deck was working. And Brute, especially Shadow Brute's really confusing. Like, it's not confusing. It's just you have to sequence cards right and have the right hand and all that. And I didn't know what this deck was supposed to be setting up towards, so I did stumble into a few good hits, good swings, but it was too late by that point. You were 20 points ahead on life or something by that point. But I like Brute. I do enjoy it. That did bring me back to my Rhinar experimentation days. So I was like, "Ooh, this is actually kind of fun." Yeah. Vincent, I don't know. She just beat Lexi at a competitive event on camera. So maybe there is a thing for her. Maybe I'm wrong, and she does have the power. It's just like you have to be a real good sequencer or whatever to get the full value out of it, which I guess is true of all the heroes these days, right?
Right.
It's like a bad Lexi is a bad Lexi, but if you can sequence a turn and advance with the arsenal and all that stuff, you can come up with super value, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. As I said in another comment, my competitive opinion entails me reading cards incorrectly. So
true.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see what I play though. Vincent still looks fun. I just don't think I have the brain to sequence the way she needs to sequence to do it. Levius seems a little bit easier. Still difficult, but a little bit easier. Bolton seems fun, and I'm gonna give Bolton an honest shot. I'm not sure if I'm gonna physically make it at all. Like I probably just Talishar it a bunch and try to learn it to the point where I feel like, okay, I'm actually understanding his value gain and how to set him up and all that stuff.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I don't know if I'll stick with him. I don't know. It's so hard to decide on a hero. There's so many heroes.
Just
pull an Icelander. It's just going to be Icelander again.
Just do Icelander. I'm serious.
She was the last one I actually spent any time on and actually got decent at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I beat several of our top players with Icelander. They were not happy with that. She's very disruptive.
You should roll it up.
Yeah. We'll see.
Trying to think.
Yeah, what else is happening? So we played Dromai versus Levia.
Yep, that was fun.
I would have, like, if I thought about it later, I was like, I would have preferred to play 3 games, because like that first game, I didn't even know what I was doing.
It was a long game though.
Yeah. With that, it was because I kept having to read all the damn cards.
Yeah,
all the cards have these like, you have to discard a card as part of the payment, right? You have to, if you draw a card and discard a card. This one does this. Yeah, they all do slightly different variations on that, and so that means it's really hard to decide what to block with, because if you block with the wrong thing, you have a dead hand.
Right.
With 3 cards in your hand, you have a dead hand. Right. You're like, how is that even possible? So that was why that took so long. But it's one of those things. I think a little repetition would do well. I do not. Okay, comment section, help me out here. How does Levia's Demi hero thing work? Everyone's been going nuts on it, but good God, it feels hard to make that actually happen. You have to be exactly 13 blood debt, which I guess is probably the easiest of the two, but it's also the weaker of the two. And then on the other side, you have to drop to exactly 13 life, I think it was, from blood debt damage.
Yeah.
So you have to block perfectly, so you set up the right amount of blood debt so that you drop to 13 at the end of your turn. I mean, I guess this one deck did keep stuff out of blood debt until the end, if you recall.
Yeah.
It did. It was very good at that, which I was like, oh, I'm starting to see how they built this, like, so it sequences mostly to the discard, and then it ends up in your blood debt later with a couple of like grab from discard things or banish 3 things from your discard. It's a brilliant design. This was the Cincinnati one. Whoever designed this deck, like, bravo. Very, very interesting way, because it's essentially double discarding, which allows you to turn off blood debt pretty actively. So I guess if you were careful with that, you can forcibly go to 13 in the transform. I don't know, man. Seems hard. Seems real hard to transform. I don't know how people do it. Let me know in the comments, people.
Yeah, I have no idea. I was never a Brood person.
As we were ending the game, Tommy's comment was like, why would you want to hit yourself? Why would you play a deck that hits yourself? Because I actually died to blood debt.
Hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
It's like, why would you do that to yourself? I'm like, I don't know. It seems fun.
Hard.
Yeah, who doesn't love slapping themselves in the face sometimes?
Man. Yeah.
What else is going on? Did you listen to the Arsenal Pass thing?
I did. That was a good
What'd you think of that?
I think it's
pretty important for the future of the game, so we should spend some time on it.
Yeah. So Arsenal Pass interviewed Brian Gottlieb.
I think that's his name. Yeah,
one of the head
developer
for Flesh and Blood. And what really stood out to me was his wanting to support and grow the kitchen table aspect of Flesh and Blood, the more casual side, because it does need that. And it has been very focused on competitive, but at the same time, it can only attract a certain kind of person with that. And then I think a lot more casual formats and a lot more casual support will bring a lot of new eyes to the game.
Yeah.
And then I know especially the UPF decks that the professor's putting together, I bet you that pulls a lot of another wave of Magic players over.
I agree. That's going to be a big boost. And honestly, I think they're doing a couple things which was spoken about. If you haven't watched this interview or listened to it, definitely do it. It was very worthwhile. It's long, but it's worth all of it. But one of the things that he brought up was just the idea that not everything is for everyone. Because I know when I saw the Professor products, I was like, ew, I don't actually want to play with any of those. Like, they seem very goofy and, like a different style, which it's funny because it's definitely made for casual. I think it's going to only be legal in casual, honestly, the way it was described in the product sheet. And just for me, I did not have interest in it. But his point was like, maybe not everything's for you. Like Dusk Till Dawn, you can skip it. He specifically said it's not our mentality that we want to suck every dollar out of you. Like, if it's not a product that supports your classes, that's okay. You don't have to pay attention to it. It's fine. So, which I guess is an interesting philosophy for a company to be not just about money. Sounds like a good philosophy to me, but some people disagree at other card companies.
One's with shareholders.
Yeah, one's with shareholders, right? So I think that's really cool, and that does open up a lot of space. I wouldn't call it design space necessarily, but it's kind of design space. Like a lot of room for exploration of cards that won't necessarily ever be in competitive, but will still be fun.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like whenever we look at a card, we're like, "What the hell is this?" After we misread it, and then someone in the comments tells us how to read it. And then we understand it. It will probably, in some cases, be that it's really just not for competitive format. Mm-hmm. So that's my guess, which is cool. I think that's fine. I want to see some other products.
Well, I just think it's interesting that how like commander focused the Professor is, and then him coming out with UPF, like really trying to push that and try and get that commander crowd.
Now, are we certain it's UPF?
I'm pretty sure.
Because it didn't say it in the deck description thing. What it said was it's a Blitz deck, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
High-tech Evo mech suit, as well as a bard named Melody and a guardian named Brevant. The set comes with 4 ready-to-play Blitz decks, blah, 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 100 new cards, and a play mat. 1,000 count storage box, which is kind of cool. Like, that's a lot of stuff in a little kit. Like, that, I dig that. Like, I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but it seems interesting. Yeah, I bet it is UPF.
I mean, because
it sounds like a UPF kit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you carry your Professor box and you whip out 4 different Blitz decks, and that's what it is. You're probably right. That's interesting.
Yeah, the card modeled after the Professor is called the Professor, according to a high-tech Evo mech suit. Additionally, there will be a bard named Melody, a guardian named Brevant. Multiplayer formats aren't new to Flesh and Blood, considering there's another.
Oh, where'd you see that?
It's on cardrealms.com.
Oh, there was an additional article or something? I missed that.
Multiplayer formats aren't new to Flesh and Blood, considering there's an official multiplayer format called Ultimate Pit Fight, which is played with 4 players and 60 card decks. And of course, no, it's not.
Yeah, that's just.
I guess that includes your armor and stuff. So 60, yeah. And of course, 40. No, 51. It's 51.
Yeah, it's 51. It's fine. They just don't know. It's fine.
I think September 8th, it says.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's interesting. It's fun. I like the Professors in a mech suit. I think that's hilarious.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
And then what's this bard going to do? Hopefully not something as annoying as the other bard.
I don't know, but now we get bard cards
for
UPF.
That's a good point. And then what's the last class? Because it says 4 decks, but there's no description of the last one.
Nope.
Is it going to be like Alchemist or something, like a new class they don't want to reveal yet?
Could be.
That'd be kind of fun. So Bard, Guardian, Mechanologist, and I'm guessing none of them are actually talented, right?
Probably
keep it
not,
simple. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I like it. More people playing the game, better. I'm not a huge fan of UPF, but I'll be honest, if they're designing UPF for fun products because it's the professor's involved. He's trying to make sure that it's a good time, right? I'll give it a shot.
Like imagine these come out yearly, and then you can just kind of like mix.
Do that, yeah. I can see that. That could be awesome. When I first saw it, I'm like, I don't really care about these products, and UPF is definitely not my. I'm not a fan of it. It's fine. We've had some good UPF games, but it's not my big jam.
And I don't think we've ever used decks where we're like, oh yeah, this is my UPF deck.
That's true.
I would definitely build it differently.
Oh yeah, that's all the things that every hero at the table situations or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's fair. We have only played with like default blitz decks just to like throw down easily. And if this is built for UPF setting and it's a throw down blitz deck, yeah. That's
so all right. 100 new cards are.
I will reserve judgment. Yeah. You're right. I will reserve judgment. I bet I'm gonna love this. This will probably end up being what I play all the time. I'll be like, I love UPF now. It's just me. It's how I go.
Yeah,
that's fair. Fun. Yeah. So good stuff. I like that they're opening up for casual. I think the big thing, or the thing I was hinting at, last bit of it, they talk about how the future of Flesh and Blood includes more randomness. So I think this has caused a stir across the Fabuverse. I don't know how you want to say it. Fab universe. Because the top players obviously are always the same people, which I think was a valid point and a thing that makes it worth looking at.
Yeah.
And that's because they're very good, right?
Right.
And I think without variance, you end up having, similar to what we see at our shop, a lockout of new players, right? Because new players just won't ever have a chance to win against senior players. They just won't. It's not, you're not, there's a steep learning curve and you have to go through it. You have to take your licks before you understand the game enough to actually compete. So variance allows for some accidental wins, which obviously keeps people coming back and interested.
Sure. I mean, isn't that Briar?
Well, yeah, exactly. I think there's several that have it actually. All the
it's not new.
The Reinars or whatever, all the what's the young brute that's only KO, like that. Yeah, I agree. And so it sounds like they're going to try to slowly, probably over years, have more variance in the decks in general, so that there's some level. So there's a cap and a bottom, and the range is dependent basically on how much variance is in the deck. So I don't know. I think a lot of people that are very into it being super competitive don't like that idea. And a lot of the people who feel like they're too late to start playing the game do like that idea. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you get enough people in, I think the problem is maybe if you have an established base, it'll be hard to beat the entrenched players. But if there's not just a couple new players, but a bunch of new players, then you have new players in the middle and towards the bottom. Does that make sense? Or there's, instead of just, you're always at the bottom every week.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It didn't work at our shop, though. We had a bunch of new players start showing up, and then they all stopped showing up.
Some of them are coming back. Some of them have come back. Yeah. This week. CC is it's funny that they want to play CC.
That's good. Yeah, how many people were at the CC event?
We had 10.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can go back to just CC and draft, I would probably be there more often.
Honestly, I prefer Blitz and draft, but that's just me.
You don't want CC?
No, it's. I want to play CC.
Oh, because
but
of the time. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is a tough one, the schedule thing.
Yeah. And so if we have 8, then it's only 3 rounds and it's fine. But you go over that, which then CC draws the people, so you always go over that, and then you're playing 4 rounds.
You just have to drop on one of the rounds.
Just drop the last round. Hope for the buy the last round.
Yeah.
I was hoping for the buy, and I didn't get the buy the last round. It was
I mean, I guess it depends on how hardcore you are about the prizes and all that stuff. But if you're just there for fun, who cares?
It's more for like, now someone won't get to play a game, probably. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is a sad when you're there and you're like, you have a matchup, but they didn't show up, and you're just like, well, this is lame. I could be playing, but I'm not. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, true. I don't know. CC is definitely where my interest is currently.
Oh, absolutely.
Bounced around a lot on that because for the longest time I was like, I don't really want to play CC, but now I'm starting. The itch is coming back. I'm like, I really do actually want to play some CC. I want to jam a bunch of games.
Yeah, we should
like a whole game day.
I'm done.
Oh man,
I'm here for it. Let's play a bunch of different decks.
Yeah, just feel out different things, see what's what. Yeah. Be fun. That's my favorite way of playing Flesh and Blood. It's an 8-hour marathon where 7 decks and a full collection of cards comes out. And then you get food and you go back and start again.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll be able to get some games in this upcoming weekend, probably, with the open play.
I don't know if I'm going to that.
A boo.
I think I had a conflict already with that. Oh, no, maybe I will. Because then, I think that works. Never mind. I was wrong. Wrong weekend.
Let's go.
Oh, that means I got to build a deck. I got to physically build a deck. Oh, shit. Right, maybe I am bringing Icelander.
All right. We're figuring out what you're bringing.
It's got to be Icelander. I don't have any of the Dust Till Dawn cards. That's not true. I have some, but I definitely don't have enough to build one of the I don't have my Bolton cards. I don't have any of that stuff.
That's true.
It's Azuri or Icelander. Those are my options.
Icelander.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of Icelander.
Yeah, we have 2 people playing Azuri.
How does that work? She pay for stuff, and then but there's 0 cost, so you can still freeze her out, right?
Huh?
So Icelander's probably decent into Azuri, right?
I'd say so.
Because she does rely pretty heavily on 0 cost.
Yeah, and they need to keep 2 cards.
Yeah, and 2-cost dagger or 3-cost dagger is not fun for them either.
No.
So yeah, cool.
Yeah,
I don't know who's good against Icelander. I honestly haven't kept up with where she sits in the meta. I know she won the battle hardened, but I don't.
She hasn't been around in locals, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious. This will be fun. Something to figure out. Oh, I gotta remember how to play her fucked up sequencing. They're all fucked up. Everyone in Flesh and Blood's sequencing is messed up, except for Dory and not Bolton because of his charge. Who else is straightforward? Bolton and Arachne and none of the Rangers. Their sequencing's all goofy.
Briar's easy.
Briar's straightforward. Actually,
Dash.
Yeah, Briar's easy. Dash is probably the easiest. Yeah, I guess all the aggro. Fi is straightforward. He has some sequencing concerns where it's like you need to have a 3rd chain link or whatever, but that's not hard. Yeah, not hard, not huge. Yeah, it's fine. I'll remember it. It'll come back like riding a bike, right?
Yeah, right? Something like that.
Right.
It'll be fine.
It's our turn. Great. I'll just keep saying that, and then I'll remember. It's our turn.
Our turn.
In response.
Well, anything else you wanted to chat on? I know it's kind of been a late week.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I'm pretty good. I don't know. I feel pretty good about card space in general. What we've had to say. Let us know in the comments what you think. More randomness? Are you #team random? #team skill? I guess.
I don't know. I think really I'm somewhere in between. I'm happy with where it is.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the extreme? You know what I mean?
Well, so he did clarify a little bit because he's like, I went back and played some Magic and I remembered what I liked and didn't like about it. And he said, we're not interested in having mana screw level of randomness, mana screw, mana flood. He's like, that isn't it, but having a little more randomness does create some really exciting situations, which is so. I mean, I think it's just like where we already are, just a little bit adjusted, Mm-hmm. Just you'll have some high rollers that can just win by being high rollers. That crazy high roll. Channel Mount Heroic turn, double Lumina turn, or triple Lumina turn, or
it just happens sometimes.
It just happens, yeah. Like, and that's okay to have a little bit more of that, where maybe every hero has the ability to have a high roll archetype or something, where it's just like, oh, they just got lucky that time,
Right.
I don't know if they'll do it with every hero. They'll probably pick certain ones, but I think brutes he even said brutes will forever have variants. That's the point of brute. Like,
right, absolutely.
You take a risk and you swing huge and overvalue, or you just flop so hard.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if it's more randomness, kind of like Scowling Flesh Bag, like it's when you defend with this intimidate, like intimidating on your opponent's turn, that kind of variance and stuff, like that kind of new level of variance, I'm for that.
Yeah, we'll have to see where they go, but I mean, they're clearly thinking deeply about the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So it'll be fine. But anyways, let us know in the comments what you like. Team variance, team steady. I don't know. I'm not sure. I wouldn't say it's like,
consistent.
Steady. Team consistent. Yeah, team consistent. There you go.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning team consistent, but
yeah, I like consistency, but I like a little variance too.
Absolutely, and I mean, in this, what people would have considered consistent, there is still inconsistencies. Like, we know that. Like, you have the decks that can just high roll.
Yeah.
It can just happen. And that's inconsistent. So they're just not very meta relevant decks. So because people don't want to play into the variance. So if people don't want to play into the variance, then maybe you don't go into variance and you stay more consistent. But then if you become more consistent, then there's just inherent inconsistencies in a card game that you shuffle and draw.
That's true.
So you can never have zero. No, it's just you never want to go too far down that path.
Yeah, and I imagine there'll be some years of swinging that way and then saying, no, we went too far. This is bad. This is not fun anymore.
Exactly.
That's how it goes. All right, anything else?
That's it for me.
Same here.
So until next week, we will catch you guys later.
Have a good one.